Comic Book Syndicate Assemble.
Okay.
Yeah!
Comic book! Wow.
Okay, so right now we're going to review The Nobody. We talk about Jeff Lemire here all the time. Jeff Lemire is close to my heart.
Is he here tonight?
What?
No, he's not. Okay.
Don't worry about it. He's twittering me right now, and by twittering me, I mean no. It's once again, it's Lemire. He's great. He's fantastic. He went from doing the Essex County books.
Yep.
Before that, he had done some of his own work that he printed himself. And this was he went into Vertigo and he was going to do Sweet Tooth. And before he did that, Vertigo gave him this really gorgeous hardcover book, which he wrote. He did all the inks, all the drawing, all the layouts, everything. I honestly don't think it was his best work, but it was absolutely beautiful.
But how do you follow up? Like Tales from Essex County is just such an immaculately conceived and executed trilogy. Like how do you?
Well, the nice thing about it was when that came out onto the scene, right? Essex County came out in these small volumes, and then finally he became such a big deal everywhere. Like he was on like Wizard magazine where they have those little pictures of people. Like you should look at this guy.
Yeah.
Ah, he looks awkward. and he started to become big. So Essex County came out of these giant volumes.
Yeah.
And nobody was picking up these giant volumes. They were expensive. You can't find it. It's expensive, the whole thing. But this book was readily available. Vertigo just wanted this out. And this was what Vertigo always does with Sandman and other characters. They said, listen, what do you want to do?
But I don't think it's his best work necessarily, but I feel like it was a pretty good move on his part because it really is such a gigantic departure from the Essex County trilogy. And it allowed him, and because he was using like a kind of a plot conceit that was already formulated, he had some room artistically to kind of invoke that and then play with it a bit. And it was such a different concept than his pseudo-biographical work. And
I think we have to point out, this is actually based on the Invisible Man character.
Yeah,
which we haven't said,
that's
right?
important to note.
Yeah.
I thought it was the werewolf.
No. So this is the Invisible Man, but reimagined into a more familiar territory for Jeff Lemire, which is small town.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting because I watched the H.G. Wells film with Claude Rains last night in preparation because I prepared.
I only remember images from that. Like, hey, listen.
I'm just kidding. But I was actually surprised by the similarities in the story because there's still a small town element to that picture. There's still a small, he kind of escapes, and there's a lot of similarities plot line wise. But where Lemire takes the character as far as emotional depth and kind of fleshing him out, oh my God, I can't believe it. I didn't do that. But but seriously, I didn't mean to do that.
Ouch.
I'm hard at work. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I do think.
Ooh. Okay.
But seriously, it's interesting how he took the character and where he despite the similarities in the plot, he took it in an interesting way.
Well, it is. It's not. Okay, Ghost Stories is still his best work.
And that's not his fault, though, right? It's not his fault that he has to live up to that.
Oh no,
standard.
yeah, I know what you mean. But he made it, so it is his fault that it's good.
No. When you're given like do what you
No,
want,
yeah.
wonderful from the heart, and then Vertigo comes up and says, by the way, we have this truckload of cash. Like, what are you gonna do? All right, I love the Invisible Man. I should watch that H.G. Wells film and do something like that. But it was.
But I think it was really well done because it still taps into the small town.
George is funny though.
Pretty good.
The small town paranoia, the isolation. Even though he's not in a farm, he's still isolated. The lead character himself is still alienated from the public. And I like the way that the story turns out. I thought it was incredible.
Okay.
But I know that Danny has a different opinion.
Okay. So who here has read any of Jeff Lemire's stuff? Like good stuff. I like all his books. Really good. So it wasn't bad. I was really disappointed. I didn't get to the end of the actual book. I was maybe shy a few.
That might have been part of the disappointment, right?
Okay.
Everything happens in the last 4 pages.
Every page I'm thinking,
Transvestite.
every page I'm thinking, it's Invisible Man. Pretty cool. I'm into the retro thing. Page 2, Invisible Man. Really cool. Page 3. I'm waiting to see when's this guy going to start playing hockey. Number 1. He never picks up a hockey stick.
No.
Because how awesome would that be?
He does say
he's on a
hoser.
breakaway. He takes
He's
off.
invisible.
Where's he gonna go? Nobody knows. He's a goal-scoring machine.
Where's that Lemire kid?
I was a little disappointed. There was no hockey element, and I mean,
He did do something nice though, artistically. I thought was it's only put out as hardcover, right? They didn't put it out in any other format. But he throws these great covers in there for no reason. As you get through the chapters, you get these like, and the mad scientist, blah, and there's these beautiful drawings.
Like,
of
Maybe
just
we
like,
could see some of them right now.
Yes, we can. There's an EC Comics homage. There's like a DC horror homage.
for
I believe there's
sure.
Marvel in there. Yeah.
So he knows his history, and I didn't know about the film, but I
Yeah.
mean, he's obviously done the character and whatnot, and I spoke to him briefly before the book came out. But no, like he said, because I asked him, I said, why are you doing this story in particular? And he was like, no, but like out of all those, because you get to a point, if you're into sci-fi and fantasy and all that stuff, you get to that poster at, remember Athena?
yes.
The poster shop,
Like
Athena, where it would
$20
have
poster,
like,
yeah.
it would have the guy like the creature from the Black Lagoon and Frankenstein, and it would have, and then there'd just be this empty spot. And
That
he
was
apparently
Invisible
was
Man.
really big on the empty
That
spot.
was The Invisible Man. Do you recommend the book?
I absolutely do. I don't think I would recommend it as the first Jeff Lemire book that someone would read. But I think, yeah, I do.
Because of the hockey element missing?
Because there's not enough hockey or Woodsley.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. George,
What?
you recommend the book?
Yeah, again, actually, I will agree with you. It's the book. I'll say this sometimes about other authors and stuff like that, but this is, once you've absorbed all this, I mean, people can only produce books as fast as they can. Once you've absorbed all Lemire's stuff with Sweet Tooth and everything else, this is the one where you're like, oh, I just wish like the next thing he'd come, oh, okay. And then you get this, because it is a really around the world story, but it's beautifully drawn.
So is that a yes?
Big mouth ass.
Okay.
Yeah, I would recommend it. I think it's really good.
I'm gonna say neutral. I'm still
Meh.
neutral. I don't recommend a lot of books. This book is meh. A lot of people are saying that, I guess.
So you're Germany about it. I
No,
mean,
you got
Switzerland
Switzerland.
about it.
Germany was never meh. Ever.
Yes, no. So let's go to break. Yes, come right back for the and then watch the.